Okay, so welcome everyone. Let's get started. It's a couple of minutes after the original start time, but nevertheless, it's great to see everyone here. So on behalf of the entire team, I'd like to welcome you guys to our pre-assessment training week, and thanks for making the time. I hope everyone can hear me. I suppose I'll find out if not. So it's great to see so many people on the call and so many people that have joined the Slack group. I'm just going to keep admitting people as we go. So just some housekeeping ground rules for today's call. It's a very large group, about 60 people right now. So please keep yourself muted throughout. At the very end, there'll be an opportunity to ask some questions. Please don't present. We have people who are presenting for some reason. Figure out how to. Yeah, so I know there's lots of tools here. Let's just keep it as a pretty simple, straight video call. If Google Meet's not the best technology, then we might have to switch to something else. Today's call is being recorded for the benefit of those who weren't able to join if their bandwidth is not as strong. So please be aware of that. If you have any objection to that, send us a message on Slack and please let us know. So again, please keep yourself muted throughout, unless at the end when there's the opportunity to ask questions, or you can always ask us questions on Slack throughout. So in terms of the agenda today, we want to spend half an hour. So I'm going to talk briefly. My name is Arun Sharma. I don't know if I've been in touch with you through different accounts in different ways. So I'm one of the co-founders of this initiative, and one of my partners, another co-founder, Yebabel, he's also going to speak. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about 10 Academy overall and function as the moderator and do the housekeeping. Yebabel is going to talk about our training philosophy, the data science philosophy, and what we're going to be learning over this coming week. So all of you should have access to, there's only two things that we want to use. One is the website, and all of you should have access to the website. The website is our place to tell you what is going on, what is due, where to download different materials. And Slack we want to use as a place to discuss and to ask questions. So between the website and Slack, you should be able to get all of the information that you need for this coming week. All of you have access to the team at 10 Academy, or you can, of course, email team@10academy.org, and so you can send us an email if you really get stuck. And so the agenda and list of what is due should be clear to all from the website. So that's the end of the housekeeping. I hope that this week we have quite a big group. There's 133 people who are part of this pre-training assessment week. So that's quite a large group. And so for the training session on the 13th of July, we hope to find the 50 people who are who would fit best with our training model. And this doesn't have anything necessarily to do with skills or ability or competence, but we're trying out a different model here where we don't want to, and Yebabel will discuss this more, we want to give people resources where they can learn, they can self-teach and to create a community, but we're trying a different sort of training approach. And so over the next week, we want to assess how you do and to figure out which of the about 50 people fit that in the best possible way. And our goal is to take this as a scalable model. And if we're successful, we hope to scale this up. So for those of you who aren't selected for the actual training, that'll be less than half of you, please keep making your best effort. We ask that of everybody. We think that there's a lot of interesting things that can be learned in the world of data science. And the people who aren't selected, we think that there's a lot that can be, there's a lot that can be learned and that can be applied to different fields as well. So overall, why are we doing this? For us, we want to make the reason we started 10 Academy in 2016-17, and we've been trying with different training models, is we believe that there's so many talented, motivated people, amongst those include you, and we want to find those people and give them the opportunity, training, and a linkage to jobs so that they can have an outsized impact in the world. And so the 10 in 10 Academy comes from this belief that we have that the right sort of person, given the right sort of opportunity, can have 10 times the impact of a typical person. And that's our goal. How do we find those people who fit that our training model in the best way, to give them the training and then to link them up with opportunities. So in the first instance, we want to do this by training 50 people from the 13th of July. And then we want to, as I said, keep going further on. So this is really an assessment week. We're not going to be able to, with such a large group, to build a very strong community. but for the people that we bring together for the full or the long-term training, we look forward to building a strong community over 3 months, and it's something that we've seen in our previous training as well. So I'm going to stop now. We're very happy to have all of you here with us. We recognize that it's not necessarily easy to spend a whole week doing a assessment. Internet is not always guaranteed. Laptops are not always guaranteed. No doubt many of you have have had to work hard, to hustle, to struggle, to at least make sure that the facilities are there. Maybe for some of you, it's not a problem at all. We are committed to making this into to doing the best we can from our side. And if you have any questions, please reach out on Slack. And we're looking forward to finding those people who fit with our model the best and doing some really interesting things. So I'm going to stop and hand over to Yababel.
Sorry, I was actually muted while I was talking for the last 1 minute. Sorry. So I'm saying thank you, Arun, for really just setting the scene. And it's pretty much, I feel like everyone has an idea why we are here. And on top of that, I think I would really just want to thank you for being here. And it's really a difficult time for everyone in whichever situation you are, either from your countryside or from your family and from your personal life. It has been probably impacted by what is going on in the world, and no one is probably safe from that. And so this program, really, we actually had a couple of iterations before it and in different formats, but we just thought it's like, okay, so people are, I'm from Ethiopia, and I am in my profession, I'm doing data science and cosmology when I was in academia, and like most of the time that I was teaching in different African countries, in Senegal, Rwanda, in Mauritius, and in Ethiopia, one of the things that I know is that a lot of the issues relates to really opportunity. So you really find a lot of brilliant people, just like you go and talk to them and you kind of really convinced, why are we in such state when you have actually people who are really incredibly talented? And it comes to really opportunity, even now, like when the school is closed, at least in the Ethiopian scenario that I know quite well, is that most of the university students are out, and you don't get that kind of attention that we enjoy. I'm currently based in Germany, but people in the US, people in the developed countries, usually they have that opportunity where they can continue their education and have a lot of opportunity. And so there is this discrepancy in terms of having the opportunity. So we thought, okay, why not we try to get our program suitable for this time as well. So our program, as Arun said, is just really a lot more focused on, can you train someone who's really already, we have a fundamental assumption, people are talented. People are hungry and want to work hard. And so we're not going to question that. And now the question is that, okay, there is an infrastructure problem. There is a lot of other problems related to where you are living in. But if we try to just, on a short time, so in a longer period, like the universities provide a slow content, but on a shorter period, if we give just that very highly targeted training, just such that they can have the opportunity about what is in the corporate world, what is in the company world, what is in the startup world, what is relevant in the data science area, and can we make them prepared in 3 months? And I think that is a very ambitious one, because we know in every other program that I have worked on, including Coursera, including others, you need a longer time. Knowledge doesn't just, you don't just get on 3 months, like, qualified, right? So there's no, we are very honest about that. This is more about just giving you the opportunity and the exposure on a very, like, we focus, our part is to focus what is relevant in the industry and what kind of skills and knowledge are useful to be productive, to be valuable, that the companies would find you valuable and you add value to the companies. And then we expose you to that, basically just assuming that you will learn most of it at the end. So just basically you will have the mindset for being a good data scientist, or what is required in this data science area. And then you will know how to learn, you will know where to find resources, and you will know, how much it takes to actually acquire a knowledge and a skill. And then once you find that, you will basically just be like ready. So when we say job ready, what we really mean is that you're going to be exposed to what is essential and to what is relevant and to what are the values that companies actually really require from you, like as a data scientist. And then you will have the capacity to self-learn afterwards, such that you get that slow knowledge. So that's why we're going to, all of our design, including the pre-assessment week, we really, this week, you pass through the pre-assessment situation, like courses and trainings. And by the end, even if you are not accepted, you should really have value out of it. Because there's no, like fundamentally, we always try to strive, like you shouldn't spend any time without value, right? So even in this week, what you're gonna have, we're gonna give you something that we really believe that would benefit you, even if you're not gonna be part of the 3 months training. So we designed it in such a way that some of the skills, you probably need them right now. For example, if you have an interest in kind of exploring, for example, how your country is being affected in the corona crisis, like you should have the capacity or just the tools, the bits and pieces of the code and the data, and just we try to expose you how you can analyze it if you want, right? And then we also try to give you just the essentials, what we consider like where, there are a lot of this data science field, as you probably all know, it's huge. And there are many things, from terminologies to kind of like different concepts, because it's, it's a composition of three fields, which is, statistics and mathematics, computer science, on top of that business understanding. So you have to have that kind of composition. And we try to compose exactly, even within this week, we try to focus like, okay, bring all of these essential ones. We're not going to cover everything, but we are going to expose you, just try to show you the intensity we are going to go, like across the 3 months that will follow this one. There will be a lot of intensity. That means like we're going to just expose you. We're just going to give you, we're going to rely on you being hard worker. We're going to rely on you being highly interested and motivated to do. And then our part would be to just find the essentials and then try to expose you. So that's like, that kind of sets, what our philosophy is. It's all about, trusting in you that you have everything it takes, and trusting in us that we have the experience from the company side, we have the experience from the academic side, and we have the experience from basically in general what it requires to be value, monetary value, as well as also just impact. As I would say, ultimately, even if you are a startup, what you really try to maximize is that if your impact is big, you one way or another just translate that into many, either monetary, financial, economic, as well as also social impact. So just this outsized impact in society, which includes also, in the startup world and in the business world. So that will be our task. We will focus on what is, which skills and knowledge of data science will be relevant in that context. And we will rely on you being hard worker and kind of like trying your best to try to, follow and also just ask and interact and basically even show us things that we probably sometimes miss. So that is the kind of like the philosophy. And if you have any questions, as Arun said, like you will ask us in Slack. The Slack would be the communication, such that we chose Slack mostly because it's text-based. The video-based one, it would be, for some, it would be okay. But for most people, probably video conferencing will not be that reliable. So we try to be a lot more like chat-based, but definitely we have, as you probably have seen the program. So the program is structured in such a way that at least once in a day, I mean, 3 times a day, we have these sessions where you have like the opportunity to follow either a tutorial, as well as also just a brief, like what is expected and on the day, and if there is any change or if there is any kind of information we need to tell you. So there will be a morning stand-up session, and also there will be one together with the first tutorial, which will happen in the German Rwandan time at noon, will be that you will have also a chance to reflect. So why that kind of structure? In the first place, that's how I run. So for some companies in London and New York, I run some of their data science groups, and that's what we do. So what I have groups that, I mean, some of these team members that are, some of them are junior, some of them are senior, and we need to communicate a lot. We need to always get together and say, like, because you know, the data science, whatever you do, there are a lot of challenges, a lot of unpredictability to it. So you need to actually come back and discuss about some things, for example, some issues, some you know, some way of like ability to try to measure every day to correct your course. Another terminology for that is called agile. So that means you actually just have a very short goal, a delivery by the end of the week. Most companies will have like a weekly cycle, and then you meet every day and then you reflect on that. So that is the kind of culture we're trying to set as well, because as I said, we don't want just this week to be just only a training one, but also just building the culture and the mindset. Because as soon as you understand why you should be there, even if you know you will not say anything, it's because we are maximizing our communication channel. So we are going to be communicating a lot in the Slack, as well as also just a checkup point in the morning. In the tutorials, if you have video, we really recommend that you attend, because maybe there will be always a pre-recorded video that will be in the directory, that in the Google folder, that you can just download beforehand. So one day before, or just at least a night before, you should be able to download everything, such that for some reason, if there is a power cut, that's, you know, our reality is very different from the other part of the world. Is that most of the time you sometimes have even a good internet, but you know, you may not have power, right? And you may have power, you may not have internet, and things like that. So we try to understand that reality, and we try to just be always just give you the contents at least a night before, such that you can download them. And if everything is well, the next day you come and then you attend the live sessions. But if not, you can just in yourself, in your computer, you can just work. And then when the power comes, or when the internet is reliable, then you come back and then you submit some of the tasks you have been working, or some of the quizzes. And all of that information, as Arun said, is we try to keep it simple, and it will be in this in our website, just where you will find all of the schedule. So and also there will be a PDF or a README document in the folder, which is kind of a copy, but more of probably the most up-to-date will be in the website. But there will be, even in the case that you don't have internet, you want to check something, there will be this PDF document, README, that you will find all the descriptions on the data, the descriptions on the codes that are provided, the descriptions on the tasks that you need to do. And also all of the Jupyter notebooks, you can use them on a Google Colab, which we recommend if you have just, there is a lot more resource you can find there, especially if your computer is not that, it's not that much, like if you have like memory issues, or, if you don't have that much memory, if your processor is not that fast, usually the Google Colab solves that problem. As long as you have internet, it's just only connection to a browser, and you open your Jupyter notebook and you work that. So, you will cover that in the first tutorial or the tutorials today. So you will have all that information. We try to always be just fully, maximally communicating to you what we have. But that means, as you may understand, because this is starting, this is new, there will be a lot of challenges that we can't address right now, right? So you have to understand, this is new for us too. We try our best to provide a clear direction, and Arun, is the best in that. He tried to always just be guiding us, even within the team, just like we have to be super simple and super clear, because when we work on it, it's usually easier and it's usually clear for us. But from your side, it may be like, oh, but when should I submit my assignment, right? Like, am I required to do this? Am I required? So all of these things, we try to detail them and list them in the website. So there is also the frequently asked question part and the Slack, basically, just that you can ask. And we try to be to do our best to address those questions and those challenges. But what we really require from you is that from now on, if something is not clear, just ask it and really be clear just in the instance that you feel like you are not clear. Don't wait, and be proactive. And then try your best. Again, it's like there are a lot of challenges. Most of them you might not cover within 1 week, but give your, like all the best of yourself, like the best of your skill and the best of your knowledge. Apply it. Try to learn as much. Try to, get exposed to much of these concepts, and just submit whatever you have. So we have two for the tasks. For the quizzes, we have every day you have to submit. It will take you only 5 to 10, 20 minutes. So it's just only between 5 to 10 questions. Google form, it's a multiple question. It's very simple. It's very fast. You answer in that, like that part. So try to do it every day. When you receive the Google form, just do it. But the tasks are a little bit more of like a process. So we give you a task. For example, there is already, some of you might have seen, there is a Twitter kind of task and challenge where I provided some of the codes, and it may not be clear, super clear, but that's one aspect. I don't want to specify every detail, because in the company I'm working, I'm not going to specify to the team, everything, because if I do that, they're not going to, I'm basically, they're not going to really apply their mind, right? So what I provide is just a starting point, a direction, and then you should apply, even change sometimes even the keywords to say, what do I want to analyze? So here is a Twitter, for example. You will open a development account, and then after the development account, you basically will just be like, okay, I can download data. What do I analyze? First, of course, I test whatever is there, and I make sure that it's working. After that, I'm going to explore even my interest in it. So that's what would be relevant in a company, because it's like you also try to just not do what you are asked, but you try to also be just available to try to explore and give and add more value. So I know I have said a lot, but so these are the things that we expect for the week, and give your best and just apply and learn and get exposed to the much of basically the workflow we have. And if you have any questions and any concerns, just contact us through Slack. Thank you so much, and I will just pass it now to Arun.
Okay,
so
everyone.
much. Really
Thanks, guys. I think we have 82 people on the call. It's going to be really hard to take questions and answers. So I think we can, thanks everyone for giving a really good overview. My 2 or 3 sentence summary is we know exactly what it is that we want to produce. We want to create the types of data scientists that companies like us or the people that we've worked for would like to hire. And I think we have a pretty good idea of how that can be done. Now we're trying that in a different format. Can we do that for 50 people in parallel remotely over 3 weeks? So we're experimenting. So we're happy to do this with you guys. I think it's gonna be really hard to do question and answer with so many people. So if you have any questions, let's use the appropriate channel on Slack. The schedule should be clear on the website. The materials should be clear from the website. So let's pivot to Slack. If you have any questions, let us know. Otherwise, thanks so much. And I hope for many of you, actually for all of you, this is the start of a longer process or a longer journey to do great things in your career. And I hope that we can be part of that. Thanks, everyone.